What's up, guys? Today is a very special day for us because today is the first day that we record the very first episode of With the Boys podcast. So let's do this. Let's roll the intro and let's get this thing started. All right, man. What's up, Gian?
What's up, Tony? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. So I just want to introduce ourselves real quick because this is our very first episode, which I'm very excited. My name is Tony Hernandez. I'm the host, and my friend Gian Lachanza is my co-host, and we're doing this together, and we're talking about everything that is of interest to men. All right. So, Gian, you came all the way from San Bernardino.
Yeah, so my name is Gian Chance. I've been good friends with Tony for about 8 years now. Born and raised in San Bernardino. Lived in LA for a bit. I work in physical therapy. I'm a personal trainer as well. According to Tony, I'm the most honest and humble man he knows.
That's true.
So that's something he said, not me.
You said it, not me. Well, that's true. I do believe that. You know that I don't BS you.
He doesn't.
Those regards.
Tony's a good guy.
So I think you are one of the most honest and humble men that I know, and I am honored to call you my friend. We were just talking about it. We have been friends for 8 years, right? You say that?
Likewise. Yeah. Very glad I met you.
8 years, man. And we've been in contact. It's not like we stopped talking. I think at least I sent you a bunch of TikToks or something. I sent you a bunch of TikToks. I know that for sure. Like, I see a TikTok and I'm like, oh shit, this is funny. I'm gonna send it to Gian. Don't worry, I do the same thing to Hernan. But to him are in Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, I opened my phone and there's like 10 messages.
I know, dude. Yeah. That's if you get 10 messages, you know that I'm in the gym. Or the bathroom. yeah, man. So for the guys that don't know me, for you guys that are watching this episode, this first episode, my name is Tony. I'm a content creator, marketer. I'm an expert in social media. I've been creating video since I was 19 to 20 years. Yeah, 19 when I was 19. I started when I was 19 and since then, I started doing video, then social media since I was like 23, I think, 22, something like that. So it's been a while. It's been an exciting career. Marketing is very exciting. It's a lot of moving parts and algorithms and trying to get people's attention is the biggest challenge of social media and marketing, right? So yeah, man. So I've been doing that. I'm happy doing it, and I'm planning to keep doing it for a very long time.
And I just want to say, Tony's the hardest working friend I have, and he's a very understanding man. So I support him 100%.
Oh, thanks. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, _Tony Hernandez. Go follow. Also, very quick, go follow us and subscribe on YouTube for With the Boys podcast. Just type very quickly With the Boys podcast, and you'll find us. All right.
With boys podcast, or what is it?
Yeah, that will be for the Instagram.
Okay.
For Instagram will be with the Boys podcast.
The Boys podcast.
Somebody else has With the Boys podcast, but they don't do anything with it. But they've been like inactive for 2 years, but I cannot get the name, so I was like, I had to put a dot in it.
Got you.
Later on, when we get certified, we'll get the full name. Yeah, man. So we have very interesting topics for today, Gian. We're gonna be talking about sports. We're gonna be talking about Joe Rogan and the controversies that he's been involved lately, and also we're gonna be talking about a little bit about our favorite sports and the Ukraine war. We'll talk about a little bit about that. And so let's start with the first topic, Jen. What's your favorite sport, man?
Basketball, hands down. Lakers fan, Laker Nation, baby.
Yeah.
So that's where it's at for me. But I like all sports. Football, baseball, boxing, but I give my most attention to the Lakers.
Basketball. Yeah. I think you and I had that in common. We are very passionate about LA.
Yes,
right?
I think that's kind of where we connected a lot.
Yeah. You know, I'm original from Tijuana, Mexico. I immigrated when I was like 17. But since then, I fell in love with LA, and it's one of like my cities. I still consider that my city. And I love it. I love everything about it. Even now that I'm in San Diego, but still, if I had to pick a city, I'll pick LA.
Amen.
Yeah, because I love it, man, and I love the Lakers. You know, that's one of the main things that I fell in love with the Lakers was through Kobe. You know, not COVID-19. Kobe. You know?
Don't mind the accent.
Yeah, don't mind the accent. I'm like, what? This guy fell in love with Kobe? That sucked. No, yeah. So I fell in love with Kobe. He is one of my basketball idols. I do think that he's still better than LeBron. I know it's controversial, and a lot of people in the comments going to LeBron is the king. Yeah, man, but just look at the track record. I think Michael Jordan has a better track record than LeBron, and I think just Kobe Bryant has a better ethic. And one of the things that I love about Kobe is that he stayed with the Lakers the whole time.
So I think we're both strong Kobe fans, but you can respect the greatness of LeBron as well.
I respect that. Yeah, he's definitely, this is his time. That's what I think. Everybody had their time. Michael Jordan, but he's the GOAT, obviously. And Kobe, he has his time to be king, which he was a great king. And now is LeBron. You know, like every sport has their own. Like every athlete has their own time. You know?
Right. So I grew up like, you know, an hour outside of Los Angeles, and then you're from TJ. So in Mexico, boxing's huge, right?
Yeah, huge. Yeah, I boxed for a little bit. I've been boxing since I'm a little kid. My brothers used to like put the gloves with all the kids in the neighborhood, and we would just like box each other. So I've been involved with boxing, with contact sports, especially with boxing for a very long time, since it's like in my culture, you know.
Remember when you came to my garage and you thought it was funny calling me the Italian stallion?
Yeah, dude. Like, come on, Gian, Italian stallion.
Side note, I have some Italian.
Yeah,
but Tony loves boxing. He's pretty good. He's showing me some moves.
Yeah, I love boxing. I was not too bad at it, you know. Obviously, I didn't pursue that career. But I still love it, man. I'm so passionate about it. When I see fights, I guess, oh yeah.
I feel like there's something very human about it.
Very human. You know what? I respect the honor involved, right? Because here's the thing. Before the fight, the fighters kind of hate each other, right? Like insult and even they get a little bit physical sometimes. And every fighter is different, right? But after the fight, I think is when like there's some level of respect, right? Even if you lose, you have to own that you lost.
That you lost.
Yeah. So like the last fight, like for Canelo, it's one of big example with Caleb Plant. They got super intense, you know. Previous the fight, dude, you know, on the when they have the interviews, when they have the press conferences, dude, like they even went physical, like they fucking slap each other, and it got very intense, and it was very exciting. Yeah. So when they were fighting, dude, they were like fighting and they actually fighting, and I think it was round 9. Caleb Plant like started talking to Canelo, and he's like, this is a pretty good fight. You know, maybe we can show the clip and editing real quick. But he says, like, Caleb Plant is like, I respect your skills. You know, this is a really good fight. And, like, I'm not too bad for being, like, 21-0, right? And Canelo's like, no, you're pretty good. You know, in the middle of the fight, you know?
One thing I respected about Canelo is at the end of the fight, he said, you're a good fighter. He told Plant, you're a good fighter.
Yeah.
Which that takes a lot to check your ego and tell someone who you beat that they're good.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. You don't see there. You see, I think Canelo is the current, like we were talking about kings of sports, right? Canelo is the current king of boxing.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the current king. He's undisputed. on super middleweight. He had like 4 fights in 1 year, which is like an incredible achievement. And he's the current face of boxing, but there have been faces before, right? Like Mayweather. Mayweather defeated Canelo. Uh, this is my personal opinion. I think Mayweather is a great fighter, but he's an even better businessman. He had like a great defense. His motto was like get hit the less and make the most money. So that's why his defense is like the best in boxing. Is he the greatest of all time? I don't think so. I personally don't think he's the greatest of all time. I
So
think
who do you think is the greatest of all time?
uh, Muhammad Ali, because I based greatness not because look, Mayweather has never lost a fight. He has 50 fights or 51 fights, 51 fights, and zero losses, right? But here's the thing: there's been other boxes that they're even higher. They had more fights, like Julio Cesar Chavez Senior. He had like 95 fights undefeated, and he lost like 6 fights after that 95th. And then Sugar Ray Leonard, I think he had like 80 something fights undefeated, right? So the track record is bigger. The only difference is like they lost after they got to a certain number. Mayweather has never lost. But here's the thing. To me, the greatest is Muhammad Ali.
Why?
Because this is my personal opinion. I base greatness not on being undefeated, but how you react after you lose. And Muhammad Ali never lost a fight twice. You know, and he lost the fight. He trained. He came back, and he performed amazingly in the fight.
Yeah, and from what I've seen and read of him, he was like a strong man of character. I know he was like Muslim faith, and he had a lot of values. He was, coming from the African American struggle.
Yeah, dude.
He
He was huge. And obviously, different times than Mayweather. I'm not discrediting what Mayweather been through because I can only imagine. But in those times, I think it was a little tougher, and there was like the Vietnam War. Men were being drafted, and Muhammad Ali was like, "Why would I go fight for a country that like treats me like crap?" Right? That was his whole thing. That's why he went to prison. And they took the title out of the way, and he got like some like trouble and stuff. And
So he was fighting for something bigger than himself.
he was how you call them? Like when you fight for a cause.
He was a
Activist.
pioneer activist.
Activist.
Yeah,
He was an activist on his own way.
Yes.
Um,
He is an influencer for sports for his culture.
for his culture, which I respect, man. You know, you cannot deny that he had a point, right? He had a point, and I think he fought in the ring and outside. Something that I don't think a lot of modern fighters do. I don't not even like any because we were in like in a huge peace, time like, with a lot of peace. So it's not been like a lot of conflict. There's obviously some injustice and stuff that are going on in the world and in the United States, but overall it's a little better. Not perfect, but a little better. Still work than we had to do, but yeah, man. So I measure greatness that way. That's why I think Muhammad Ali is the greatest boxer of all time. I just love his story, and he was such a showman too, dude. He talked so much crap in the fights.
Felt like a butterfly sting like a bee.
Yeah, dude. Like he will fight and he will be
Still talking
crap with the fighter. Like, you got nothing, you are nothing. Look, this you're already tired.
Yeah, he was a talker.
Yeah, he was a talker. Which is interesting.
Are you looking forward to the fight with Canelo versus Bivol?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I honestly, he signed a contract. I think the rumor said that he signed a contract with the Sun showroom. That's like the promotion companies. With one on May 7 with Bivol, is Russian, and then another one, the trilogy with Triple G. He already had 2 fights with that. One was a draw. The second one he won. Canelo won. But people have been asking for the trilogy. I personally, dude, I wanted to see Canelo fight either Charlo or Benavides, David Benavides. But I'm okay with these fights too. I mean, he's the king. He
Are you
can do
looking more
whatever.
forward to the Triple G or the Benevol?
Triple G? Triple G, dude, he's
Because they've already had the clash.
yeah, and he's
So draw,
tough.
Canelo wins, and then Triple G's gonna come back and try to defend his.
Yeah, they get to win, get his
Get his
win.
win.
Yeah, well, dude, Triple G's tough. I think Triple G's been the toughest fight for Canelo, even more than Mayweather. Because Mayweather is not he will not plant himself and fight you. He will run like
He fatigues you.
yeah, he fatigues you. He runs around and
Strategic.
yeah, strategic. So, he won the fight against Canelo. I saw the fight and I was like, okay, yeah, Mayweather obviously outboxed Canelo.
Yeah.
At the time.
I think he gets a lot of crap for that because he is very evasive.
Yeah,
But that's part of the
That's-
strategy of boxing.
exactly. Yeah, that's his technique, and a lot of people sometimes they copy him, other fighters. But Canelo is not like that. He plants himself in the center. He has improved. It's called Mexican style boxing. Oh, sorry. It's called Mexican style fighting, which all like go forward. It's very famous. That terminology is very famous in
So that means
boxing.
go be aggressive.
Yeah, Mexican style of boxing is very aggressive. So that means very like strong punches and always moving forward, even if you get hit. But you keep going and keep going.
I like that.
Yeah, you're like relentless.
Yeah.
And that's a very Mexicans are very known for that. Mexican fighters. So Canelo fought that way against
Fine.
Mayweather.
Mayweather.
So I think that's why he lost. But after that, he learned, dude. He learned his lesson, and he improved a lot, dude. Like, now his head movement, his reflex are on point. Like, dude, I have something like he like
Yeah. No, his head dodging is incredible.
yeah, it's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
But he's not like Mayweather. Like he's not like backing up like Mayweather. He is head
Yeah.
movement, but still in the center.
So he's integrating both Mexican style boxing and maybe American
American
or whatever.
style, yeah. A little bit of American style, yeah. So that's he has grown a lot. I think if they fight again, Mayweather and Canelo, I think Canelo wins. But I don't think that fight is gonna ever happen. But yeah, so going back to Triple G, I think that was the hardest fight for Canelo, and Triple G's tough, dude. He was called the boogeyman of boxing. Yeah, so he was called the boogeyman, bro, because he's a monster, dude. He's a monster. He knocked out all his fighters. Like nobody could like.
They fear him.
They fear him. He was the boogeyman of his class, of his weight. Until he met Canelo, and they clashed like fucking warriors, dude. Yeah, they respect each other a lot, but yeah, I do think Canelo won the second fight, and I think the draw was fair in the first one.
That will be an exciting matchup for sure.
Yeah, dude.
So
Yeah.
if you talk about conflict, I know there's been some conflict like with the cancel culture, like in terms of like Joe Rogan. How do you feel about that?
I don't know, and look, there's been two main topics, right? Attacking Joe Rogan. So the first one is that he's anti-vaccine, right, comments and stuff, and the other one is that he used the N-word in several videos, right? So let's start with the anti-vaccine comments that he has made.
So I guess about those anti-vaccine comments, they wanted to a lot of people wanted to cancel culture, which if for those of you who aren't familiar, that means that you stop viewing them, participating, giving them likes, views, whatever.
Yeah.
So you kind of just you kind of sanction that, like you don't
Yeah.
see them at all.
You kind of like want to get rid of them, of any media. So the first one, I think, was Neil Young, a singer, right? He removed his music from Spotify because he claimed that Joe Rogan is providing misinformation about vaccines and all that, which he is giving his own opinion. On that regard, this is just my take. This is my opinion. Is like he has the right to to give his own opinion and what he thinks. Was the information that he was providing on the vaccines and stuff accurate? Maybe not, But I mean, nowadays that's a very controversial topic. That vaccines for some reason has become very political. So yeah, in that regard, I think he can give whatever opinion he wants.
I feel like a lot of millennials, and especially like Gen Z, they have the feeling that if they don't like someone, then they're wrong.
Yeah, if somebody has different opinion than you,
that's a very toxic mindset, because that's the whole idea of being someone who cares about others, who has values, who respects other people, is that you acknowledge people are different than you and you respect their opinion. That doesn't mean you agree with their opinion, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
yeah, nowadays everything's so like extreme, right? So either you extreme left or like you have to pick a side, which that's something that I don't agree with. Like I don't. I'm
right.
Not,
it's either like you get the vaccine or you don't, and we're going to war.
But exactly. But the thing is, it goes more in depth than the vaccine. Now is the vaccine, but before that was the mask.
Yeah. And
before that was like voting.
Yeah.
And before that was the riots.
Yeah. And then it was like, oh, if you're Republican, you hate black people. If you're black, you hate white. Like, why is it always a war?
Yeah, dude. There's too much extreme, and I think things became more. There's always been that division, but I think it became more intense with Trump campaign because he was very blunt, and he always spoke whatever the heck he wanted. So things become a little more divided.
I don't think he didn't understand PR, huh?
No. Well, he understood PR. He understands marketing. That's why he
just didn't care about it.
Yeah, that's why he achieved. He knows marketing because he knows who to target. He's in spite of what everybody believes, he's a smart guy. So he knows business, and he knows how to target people. That's what he did. That's why he won the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't go into the controversial about Russian intervention and all that shit, but yeah. So yeah, I think going back to Joe Rogan, I think that his vaccine comments, I think he can give his opinion, and if something that I respect about him is like if he's wrong, he tends to admit it. Which we all be wrong sometimes, right? Sometimes we're wrong, and we just admit it. It's something that I respect about him. And I think just people were just too intense nowadays. Like, oh, he's leaning to the right. I don't like it anymore. Like, man, I like him.
Yeah.
I am gonna be honest. I tend not to lean to the right because of obvious reasons. I'm Mexican, and there's like some organizations they don't like minorities or people of color very much. They are under the umbrella of Republicans. I'm not saying that everybody that is Republican is like that. I'm just saying that that's a fact.
But like, regardless of Joe Rogan's political views and your political views, do you feel that when he says something that's controversial, he still has the right to say it? Like, it shouldn't be something that's like canceled? Yeah.
I think he, as long as he is respectful, right? I don't think he offended nobody, at least not intentionally. Like oh yeah, these vaccine people. I don't think he did that. I think he was just speaking about what he believed and trying to provide the information that he had. He had this guest, I forget the name of this kid, who did show him factual information, and he's like, oh, I didn't know that. Joe Rogan, right? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. He admitted, like, okay, I think I was wrong in that regard.
Well, I know, like, a couple years ago, Eminem got canceled cultured.
Everybody's getting canceled now.
So it's just a trend.
David Chappelle, dude.
Yeah.
Comedian,
rappers. I mean, they're all... anyone can be offensive.
Yeah.
Your mom, my mom's offensive.
Your mom get canceled.
I wish there was a button.
I know, dude. Oh, yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, so the other one after the vaccine comments and controversy, the other thing that he got in trouble for was like this other singer. I think her name is Ariel something, India Ariel something like that. Excuse me if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. But yeah, so she also removed her music, and I think they mandated like put a lawsuit on Spotify. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong on that regard, but yeah, she wanted her music removed because, and then she showed a clip of Joe Rogan saying the N word, in different times when he started his podcast. Yeah, so now he's like he became a target, and because I mean, they obviously went back and watched his episode, just like watching like he's gonna fucked up.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find something he said.
Yeah.
And target him like, yeah. So that was an intentional attack on him, on his career. But that being said, I still believe that he shouldn't have said that.
Mm-hmm.
The word, right?
Yeah.
I still believe that.
We're not excusing any type of disrespectful behavior, but I think what we're saying is that the council culture can be taken too far at times.
Yeah, they get taken to, and there were different times, man. Times are evolving very quickly.
I think people forget too. Joe Rogan's a comedian. Like he did UFC announcing and stuff, and he's kind of known as this tough fighter guy. But he's a comedian too. So I don't think you can name one comedian that's not offensive.
Yeah, they always make fun of different cultures, right?
Yeah,
like Fluffy. He makes sense of like people and white and Mexican.
George Lopez.
George Lopez does the same. Who else?
Azir.
Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Bill Burr. He's white and he makes different. There's something about comedy that you're allowed to say things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So far,
as long as it's funny, right?
So far, yeah. As long as it's funny, as long as you can call me something, whatever, Mexican. It's just funny. So I'm laughing. If I'm not laughing, it's not funny. Yeah, dude. So my take on that Joe Rogan saying the N word, I think he shouldn't have said that. I don't think any white man or anybody that is not black should say the N word at all for no reason.
Right.
And here's why I think that, because you have to understand that word was used by the masters to diminish and discriminate black people. To make them feel inferior, to determine like, okay, these people are inferior than us. We own them, right? So something that I respect about black people is that they were saying, oh, these guys are calling me this. Well, you know what? I'm going to change that word and make it my own. Mm-hmm. They literally changed the meaning of it.
Now it's a greeting.
Yeah. That's a greeting. Mm-hmm. It's calling you my brother. It's calling you all sort of things. Yeah. Right? So they between them
though.
It's like, okay, it's like they got like, guys, I know they're called this way. What if we change the meaning of this word? And everybody like, oh yeah, let's do it. But when it comes from somebody that is not from that community,
it's kind of like when people say
offensive.
I can talk about my family, but you can't talk about my family.
Exactly. And Joe Rogan said like, yeah, the videos are being taken out of context, which maybe they are, but you should not use that word in any context. Period. Yeah, don't use it. Mm-hmm. If you're not black, don't use the N-word, man. Don't get yourself in trouble. Yeah. That's a very controversial word. That's a very unique word in the English alphabet, English vocabulary,
There's a lot of conflict with that word.
It's a unique word that it literally belongs to a specific group of people. Mm-hmm. Nobody else can use it. Mm-hmm. If you use it and you're not part of that of the African American culture, you're it's bad. It's wrong.
It's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea, and it might be disrespectful for them. I mean, every culture has their own. We Mexicans have like things that they call us, right? Beaner, wetback, and all that. It's like we like it. I personally don't take it serious because I know it's coming from an ignorant place, but because I'm Mexican. I don't know if you guys knew that, my accent.
The accent.
Yeah, but if they call me that, and I've been witnessed discrimination. Like one time in San Bernardino, I was at a Starbucks, and this was a line, and there was this all white dude watching something, right? One of the baskets they had there, and I asked him like, "Excuse me, sir, are you online?" You know, because I wanted to buy something, and he just looked at me, turned back, and he just looked at me like, mad, dude. White people go first. That was ridiculous, and I was just like, okay, sure, man, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know, what am I gonna do? It's an old guy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
You're gonna
It's
slap you, but that's a reality, right? So,
Yeah.
I think that's a word that's unique for black people, and I don't think like nobody else should use it. There's people that use it that's under their own risk.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
If
fair,
you use it
yeah.
on the streets, you might get a fucking shot.
Don't use it in San Bernardino.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's he's in a pickle right now. Joe Rogan.
I think what we're saying is, you know, just because you don't like someone's opinion, you can't cancel them. But at the same time,
Yeah.
we're not defending Joe Rogan. Maybe there were offensive things that were happened, and we acknowledge that that's you know, that you should respect
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Exactly. Because I think like everybody makes mistakes, man.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's perfect.
Right.
You know, here's the thing. He shouldn't have said that, but he did.
Mhm.
But he apologized,
Mhm.
honestly. Right?
Right.
You know, so like what I don't like about the cancel culture is like if they find you something, they're like, they want to create this image of like, oh, you're such a like evil person, which I don't think Joe Rogan is. And like I said, like there's a lot of things that I don't agree with him, like on his political views or like just whatever views that I'm like, yeah, I don't think I agree with that, but I still like him, dude. I still listen to his podcast. You know, I still respect him, and I think he's a great guy. He's a very successful guy. He's a smart guy, and I don't have to agree on everything. I don't have to even be in his same political beliefs or religious beliefs for me to respect him and admire him. That's how people forget, man. The world is not black and white.
It's very
The world is not blue and red.
no, it's not. Yeah, it's not blue and
You
red.
know?
It's not black and white.
Everybody-
It's not up and down. It's very complicated, and everyone's different, and you have to respect everyone at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'm purple. I think I'm purple. Yeah, yeah. So talking about controversial things.
So yeah, speaking of controversial, there's been a big controversial topic in the news with Russia invading the Ukraine.
I know, dude.
So,
Crazy.
Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union. Russia was the head of that. Putin, the president of Russia, recently invaded the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that from like a humanistic perspective.
Yeah. It sucks. I think it's been decades since there's been a war in Europe. So Russia kind of like gave the first blow to that to European countries. They haven't been in a war since World War II.
Yeah.
Like in their land.
Uh-huh.
Right? So it's a huge thing, man. Russia, it's dangerous. And he has dangerous allies.
Yeah, I think there's like a general fear among the American population that Putin won't stop at Ukraine.
Yeah, I heard that too. That he might keep going, heading west. But if he messes with any NATO country, which after Ukraine he will meet NATO countries. So the NATO deal is like, if you mess with one, you mess with everybody, right? So that will be a huge ordeal. That will be very bad for the world. Because I don't think the European Union is gonna give in. I don't think United States is gonna give in, and I don't think Russia is gonna give in. Right? So it's gonna be a lot of dead people, a lot of destruction on nature and the world overall. You know, I don't think the world can handle too many nuclear explosions, you know. And the thing is, like, they will take it farther, like, right? So, like, I'll first send troops, and if it doesn't work, I first send my jets, and if it doesn't work, I send people, and I send bigger guns, and then
like that. I saw that video you sent me, the B-52 bomber flying over.
yeah, exactly, like the ghost of Kiev.
Yeah, the ghost of Kiev. He's a incredible Ukrainian pilot.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I think you know, with this invasion, like, I have to give it to Ukraine because if you look at their president, for example, he's fearless. So he's actually soldiered up with a lot of his soldiers and Marines, and you know, he's not afraid to fight.
I saw some clips of that, and you know what, dude? Ukrainians have balls, dude. I respect them, dude.
Yeah.
Like these,
because look at the size of Russia, right? And the size of Ukraine. It's like
exactly, Russia's a fucking bully. Dude.
There's no chance, but at the same time, they are defending their honor.
Yeah, their country, their freedom, right? Their right to be their own nation, which is huge. I mean, if anyone will understand that, it's Americans, right? So, yeah, dude, it's Ukrainians have a lot of balls, man.
They do, that. And I got to give it to Zelensky, their president, too, because his ancestors fought in World War II, and he's of Jewish descent.
Oh, nice.
So he has ancestors who were in internment camps for.
Well, yeah, you know, I know they when it comes to World War II, they speak about Germany and doing all the camps and that, but we tend to forget that before Germany did all the Holocaust and all that, Stalin, right, the president of Russia at the time, had similar camps in Russia for Jewish. It's just that Hitler was more crazy. Out of the two crazies, Hitler is like, yeah.
So who do we talk about the more crazy?
You're talking about like crazy. So
we forget, and then Mussolini, all of them.
Hirohito,
all the Japan, Italy, Germany.
Dude, I saw this footage of this lady, dude. This got my skin like, oh yeah, dude. So this lady had a lot of balls, and she just was just there talking to the Russian soldier, and like, here, take this flower, and because when you die, out of your dead body, like fucking flowers will grow on my land. And I was like, shit, that's gangster. That's fucking gangster.
Yeah. I mean, I think the U.S. is always diplomacy is very complicated. And I think, it's easy to say, like, we should take a stand or whatever. But I think a lot of times as a leader of a nation, you have to think about your own people. And is this really your battle? So as heartless as it sounds, you have to think about your people first before protecting another country that is not yours.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's always that question of, is he going to stop with Ukraine, or is he going to try to take over more countries?
Yeah. Well, I'm a very idealistic guy. Something that I really like about I'm a geek. I'm a nerd, dude. I read comic books. I've been reading comic books, and since I'm a little kid, one of my favorite characters is Spider-Man and Captain America. So there's no more idealistic superheroes than those two. I say Superman, but that's another story. So I do believe, it's gonna sound silly, but I do believe, like, with great power comes great responsibility. And United States has a great power.
That's true.
And I do think that if somebody is in need, as humans, not as a country, just as humans, I think if you have the ability to do something and you don't do it, it's your fault too.
That's a good point. I mean, Spider-Man, great power, great responsibility.
Yeah.
And the thing about the U.S. too is we're such a driving force for world peace that
Democracy.
if we were to fly, the United States of America Air Force over Russia, like, they'd be shitting bricks,
Yeah, it's no joke, man. It's just the thing I think all the countries are thinking right now is, first of all, is that yeah, Russia seems like he's trying to do like a conquer, like taking territory, moving west. But that if that happens, dude, if he attacks a NATO nation, it's not good for nobody.
I wonder what the first NATO nation would be.
Oh, well, he has several. Like Poland, I think, is after Ukraine, but directly in the border with Russia up north, I think is Norway, right? If I'm saying that right, it's Norway, and then is those,
which is really
small countries.
really interesting because I might be wrong. Correct me on this one, but the first country that Nazi Germany invaded was Poland.
Yeah, exactly. But to get to Germany, I think they had to cross Ukraine, and Germany already said that they're like, nah, we're gonna sanction you, Russia, and that's a ballsy move because Russia provides with energy to Germany.
I know USA sanctioned Russia.
Yeah, the problem with Germany, dude, is like they depend on Russia with it.
So they need them
for energy. They need them. And that's the thing. They don't have a nuclear power, and that's because some. I think if I correct. I'm sorry if this information is not right, but according to what I read, some activists on the 80s, I think, or 90s, they make like the government remove all the nuclear locations, so they don't have nuclear energy. So they depend on.
But there is some in Ukraine. I think that's a big reason why he wants to invade, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, I think he wants to invade Ukraine, Putin, because he wants to stop NATO from expanding. Because Ukraine was the latest candidate. He was very close to become a NATO ally. And that's not good for Russia because then he will be surrounded, at least in Europe. You know? And so it's like, heck no.
Yeah.
It's not a good move. So it's not a good thing for him.
Yeah.
It's like Russia putting military bases on fucking Mexico on the border, you know?
You know, I think we, like, during our generation, like being millennials, I think we haven't really, you know, we've seen the war on terror, 9/11, all that, but we haven't really, like, seen a nation just invade another nation, you know? We didn't see the Vietnam War. We didn't see, like, all these other generations that saw that.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a shock to see another country, they're conquering that country. Straight up.
Like, straight up, like that's happening right now. Yeah, dude. It's insane. Hopefully things get resolved. Already things are tense right now. Right now I give my prayers to Ukrainian people, man. Like, and my respects for their military and their bulls. Like they're being drafted, dude. Men are being drafted.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're 18 to 45 years old, you cannot leave the country.
Yeah.
Only women, kids, and elders.
Yeah. Our prayers go out to them. Yeah. That's a tough area to be in.
You want to hear something controversial, Ian?
Sure.
Yeah, this is something that I heard on TikTok from this girl, that she's like a she calls it like a defendant of men. And she said, like, where are all the feminists now? What is equality? Where are women staying?
They don't want to go to war.
All of a sudden, the kitchen sounds so good.
All of a sudden.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah, I saw that funny one you sent me to about you know, becoming a U.S. citizen because you recently got your citizenship this year, and then all the talk about World War III, and then you, like, for instance, what if, you know, things get worse and World War III breaks out, and Tony recently getting his USA citizenship, being drafted,
which that can technically happen. You know that,
right?
We can still be drafted
anytime.
Yeah. That's because we're part of the militia,
right? Because you're a man.
So I was thinking it's funny to mention that because she was like, yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, I don't see feminists marching and saying like, no, all women should be drafted too. Which, like, no, we respect the feminists, but I think she was referring to the extremists.
Extreme feminists, not the regular.
Not that they're
equal, but that they're above men. those ones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously we support women's rights and women equality, but it's just funny the way she said it because there's extremist people for everything, right?
Right.
So she was referring to the extremists, and I was just like, yeah,
where'd y'all go?
like, what's up? All of a sudden you're too quiet, girl. What's up?
What's up? Where's my feminist?
I know, dude. I know. Like, I was cracking up, and I read the comments, and everybody was like cracking up in the comments too. But it's hilarious, dude. Yeah.
Everyone wants to be a leader until they got to lead an army into war, right?
You know James Patterson. You know, read the psychologist and he has books and stuff.
Jordan Peterson.
Thanks. Yes, he said something. When I heard when I saw her video, reminded me of him because he said like everybody's civilized and everybody wants equal rights, and he was referring to like the feminist movement and all like the feminist one equals right, and things go to shit. Mm-hmm. When things go to shit, all of a sudden everybody goes very quickly back to their original roles, and I'm just doing quotations. Mm-hmm. All right, and I was like, what she's saying kind of matches what he said, right? Like, because things going to shit in Ukraine, and all of a sudden, like,
it's true. Like I think at the end of the day, humans have animalistic nature that we forget, and it's like you're gonna go back to what your instincts are. We're instincts. We're creatures of instinct. You know, as civilized as we pretend we are, getting our Starbucks coffee and going to work and our computers. At the end of the day, we're creatures of instinct. Yeah,
right. And honestly, we men our instinct is to protect. Right, that's what we tend to do.
It's wired in your DNA. Yeah,
that's exactly. That's been since the cavemen, right? The girls.
It's like there's a reason that you have broad back and strong arms. And all that.
The females stay inside the cave, and the men were outside fighting tigers.
Yeah,
right. And I saw this comedian. I forgot his name. The guy he's a host of his own podcast called Fragan. I forgot his name. Oh, hopefully put his name on there and the editing. He said a joke on one of his stand-up comedy is like what did he say? He said nowadays all women's like want equal rights. Why they didn't want equal rights before in World War II or like in when we're in the caves, right? When we're in the caves and fighting, like they were like, oh, you're so brave, go fight the buffaloes and the tigers. I'll stay here and make the food.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. But there's gonna be a lot of people that might get offended for what we're saying. So just to clarify, we think that women deserve equal rights and equal pay and equal opportunities than men, right?
Right. And I think we're not saying there's a lot of brave women in the military who are incredible fighters. Do things that I could never do. I think what we're saying is that just people have a tendency to forget that when things do go haywire, it's in our nature to go back to our instincts.
Exactly. Yeah. So to our foundation.
Yeah.
You know that. But the good thing about being rational creatures is that we evolve, and we change.
We adapt.
Yeah.
So put humans at the top of the food chain.
Exactly. That's why we are the top of the food chain. Because if you think about it, if it weren't because of our brains, we will be pretty low next to pigs.
If you compare our physicality features to a lion, we're pathetic, right?
Yeah. I think I read this article, dude. They said, like, if we didn't have our brains, if we were, we're rational, intelligent creatures, we will be next to pigs.
Yeah, that's how low we would be. Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even predators.
Yeah. Right.
They're not even predators.
And it's
that I know.
Think about,
I think they are predators.
We're right here in San Diego right now doing this podcast, and, we have the San Diego Zoo down the street, and you got lions, polar bears.
I know.
And it's like those animals have incredible strength and power.
Yeah.
But we domesticate them because we have the equipment, we have the technology
and the intelligence,
the weapons.
To make a wolf or best friend, dude. Mm-hmm. make wolves with them make like they evolve to be dogs.
So, yeah.
That's crazy thought, right? Like
Yeah.
how that even started? Like how we became homies with the
Yeah,
dog,
we have
with the
man's
wolf.
best friend, huh? Is a
Yeah.
killer. It's a trained killer. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
right. People are always like, "Oh, cute little dog," and it's like his, he's from a wolf.
Yeah,
Like,
his ancestors.
his
were like-
ancestors designed to kill you.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Something interesting about humans is like we were, or maybe we still are, but back in like the past when we were like hunting, like literally hunting to eat, we were the most terrifying predator out there, and not because we were super fast, not because we were have super strength or big trees or big,
Claws or fangs.
yeah, fangs and roars and shit like that, but because if you were, let's say, an antelope or whatever, or a deer, and then you saw a bunch of like hairless creatures approaching you, you run and you outrun them quick, like whoosh, gone, right? But then like 10 minutes after, like you see them again, like what? Didn't I just run these guys? Run again, escape. 10 minutes after, 15 minutes, you see them again and like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's creepy, dude. If you think about it, just think about like if you're running and every time you see these guys coming at you, like, what the fuck? You fucking find me, like
Yeah.
I literally
Yeah.
outrun you.
Yeah.
It's just that the way the humans hunt.
Yeah, and I've heard, I don't really. This is like above my pay grade to really understand what happened at the beginning of time, but I've heard some sayings of like the reason humans evolved to be higher intelligence is because they hunted fish, and the fish had a lot of like omega-3 fatty acids, help the brain develop, right?
Yeah.
So the animals feared them because of. I just picture them setting like traps,
Yeah.
and like just getting smarter every day, and you just learning from every mistake you make. How we have to do today.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like if you're not human, that's crazy. Well, even if you're human, but right? If you're like an antelope or a fucking deer, and you're
Yeah,
seeing this bunch
because
of
they're just thinking, eat, hunt, sleep, reproduce, and then humans are like thinking on this
Yeah.
higher level of like, how do we adapt?
humans hunt like wolves. The wolves pursue their prey for a long time. Like
They just keep going.
have a lot of stamina.
Relentless.
Humans don't run fast, but we have a lot of fucking stamina. That's why we were like the buffaloes will run and shit, and we will like I said, like 20 minutes after they will see. I'll run you,
Yeah.
fool. What are you
Yeah.
doing here, man? Just
Yeah.
leave me alone.
That's beautiful because that's kind of the modern day hunter. You got to pursue your dreams, your whatever.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
So
That's insane. Yeah. So, well, Jen, I think we have reached the end of this first episode. Anything you want to say?
thank you for everyone for listening to us. We greatly appreciate it. And it's this With the Boys podcast. If you want to reach out to us on YouTube, Instagram, social media, Tony Hernandez, and then my name is G on the Chance.
Hey, Lee and a chance. You have to activate your Instagram though, bro.
True, I got to reactivate.
Yeah, you
that.
have to activate. There's too many girls, man. DM you, huh? I know, dude. Yeah, well, thank you so much for watching With the Boys podcast. This was the first episode. I'm so excited. Please stay tuned. Wait for the next episode. We're gonna be bringing some very interesting guests. And this podcast, pretty much, we're gonna talk about everything of interest to men. And we're going to talk about sports, health, and everything that is trending on the moment or any news that are important. And you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Download if you guys are listening on any audio platform, right? We are on all the platforms. So go check us out. Follow us on Instagram. Give us a shout out. Throw some comments of things that you want us to talk about. All right, guys? So you guys know what to do. And this is With the Boys podcast. See you later. Peace. That was awkward.
There you go.